Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Gundam Battle Assault 2 Basic Guide for New Gundam. If you haven't seen part 1, please do so. The link will be in the description so it'll be easier to find. In part 1, we went over the move list, some basic combos, and utilization of his fin funnels. And in part 2, we're just going to go over your basic usage of the character itself, like we always do. Despite not having a Mega Special, New Gundam is a very good character. And that can be attributed to quite a few things, but most notably his fin funnels. Like I went over in part 1, fin funnels are indestructible, unlike any other funnel in the game. And not only are they indestructible, but they will block or cancel out any projectile that collides with it. So it, essentially speaking, blocks a lot of the really hard-hitting projectiles in the game, especially beam-type Mega Specials will block them completely. No chip damage, no nothing. You can move even while being attacked by it. Heavy arms missiles will be blocked by it. For the most part, Buster Rifle, which is very good. And it's great for filling up combos and racking up an enormous amount of damage. You can use them while being knocked down to assist your recovering and just tear up your opponent's wake-up game. It's just a really, really good tool that is pretty much going to be the center of what you're doing with New Gundam. Besides that, he has a very good projectile. The ammo is mediocre. You can fizzle out, so just be conservative with your ammo, but it's very fast, especially the light version. It's a really good pressuring tool. The heavy version will do half a bar, which is tempting. It is, but I would mostly stick with the light version. Use the heavy version if you want to counter somebody who's trying to spam projectiles at you. Don't spam projectiles in New Gundam. He's got too many tools to assist against that. The tracking is kind of okay. Not as good as, say, like Char's Zaku or some of the other characters with better tracking, like Heavy Arms. But it's good enough. His rising knee is pretty good. It's an uppercut. Basically works the same as any other uppercut in this game or any other. You can combo to and from it for some decent damage. Not as good as some of his other combos, so just, use it when you need it. Use your judgment. His unblockable is rather slow, so it's not going to be all that great, but he's got a lot of other ways of getting in, so you don't necessarily need his unblockable. His normals are all very good, with maybe a couple exceptions. He's got his standing light kick is a low, which is awesome, and it's his combo starter, which is really great. So, secret, if you're fighting New Gundam, always block low. And then, if your opponent always does that, he doesn't have any overheads on the ground, which does suck. I think his best air overhead would probably be his jumping heavy punch. I think that's the fastest and hardest hitting one. And actually, it goes into rising knee on block, so you could kind of do that, maybe. But generally speaking, with New Gundam, what you're going to be doing is trying to figure out a way to safely use fin funnels. And there's a couple different ways you could do that, and you're going to have to mix it up a little bit. The obvious way is to just boost up in the air and use them. But A, that uses up your boost, and you may need that for other things like dodging or escaping or approaching, whatever. And your opponent can chase you if he wants to, especially if it's a more air-oriented Gundam like Zazabi or Death Scythe or some of the other Gundams that can get you in the air, or Gundams with projectiles that can chase you. Another easy way is to just trip them. That's mostly safe. But again, your opponent can block low. You can use them while your opponent is in the middle of something like a special or whatever. And you just kind of have to mix it up. And then once you have your fin funnels, you can use them defensively, which you probably won't be doing all that much. Or you can rush in and use them to attack. You can mix up. You can just attack, and if you get hit, you can use them as a wake-up defense, as I said before. He's pretty decent without his funnels, but with them he is extra deadly. And then once you overheat, that's probably the absolute safest moment to use your funnels, is when you overheat your opponent. And then you can just go right back in and just take him down. That's about all I have to say for New Gundam. He's a very, very good character, and he'd be an excellent choice, despite not having a Mega Special. It just takes a little bit of dedication to learn to know when to use his fin funnels and his beam rifles. So that's about it. Next, I think I'm gonna do Ball. So we'll see how that goes.